Riverside FM.
Welcome to Align Sessions, the podcast that invites you to come home to yourself. I'm Monica Uribe, the creator of the Align program, your 30-day self-guided mind, body, soul journey for the modern day seeker who's ready to heal, awaken, and align. Each episode is a portal, and you're invited to tune in, slow down, and remember who you are beneath the noise. Let's begin today's Align session. Hello, week one. Align program is celebrating you for making the decision to take on this personal journey. What makes this program unique is this right here. The plan breaks up your personal journey like this. It gives you something to focus. It teaches you to move. It gives you breathing techniques. It gives you prompts so you can express yourself of what's coming up, what comes up from the movement, from the healing, from the focus. When you listen to your heart and your soul, that comes up. And then finally, we do, right? Set up focus first. We move and heal the body. We do that body work. We focus on our breath, what comes up from our breath. That focus, that emotion, that intention helps us set goals and helps us answer that question. What is it that I want? What truly makes me happy? What brings me joy? What's in our heart and soul? And then lo and behold, we have the courage and no other option but to move full force and do, just like Nike, just do it. So each week you are reminded of these 5 themes, 5 things to have in mind. These themes, we'll call them, for you to move through your journey. I know you need tools. I'm breaking it down for you, but you need tools. And that's what I'm here for. Today, my guest is trauma-informed Reiki educator and Reiki coach, Paty Mariposa Hernandez. We're going to be talking about trauma-informed Reiki and Reiki healings. Stay tuned. Welcome, Paty. So, trauma-informed means what?
Great question. I know that's become quite a buzzword, but trauma-informed isn't just checking a box saying I'm trauma-informed or I have all of these certifications under my belt, which I do because I love learning more about trauma. But really what I understand and why I'm trauma-informed and how I teach other Reiki practitioners to be trauma-informed is that we learn how trauma shapes the nervous system, their behavior and identity. See, trauma isn't just in the mind, it's also in the body. And so with Reiki, we're able to help identify the blocks, the energetic blocks, which can come in through heat or cold or physical pain or unrest. And in a trauma-informed session, we let the body tell us what it needs, what it would like. Nothing is forced. There's always consent. The client knows what's going to happen when, and what's most important is that emotional safety is central. In a trauma-informed space, we honor coping mechanisms, whatever coping mechanisms that person uses, that help that person to survive. And I'm not here to judge what your trauma is. I'm here to understand how your trauma is affecting you. And it's not about fixing the person, it's about creating those conditions where healing can naturally happen. Does that answer your question?
Totally. I love absolutely how you worded that. Anyone, I believe, and I'm going to be judgy, but anyone living in the United States in 2025 who says that they don't have trauma, I'm going to say are not really in touch with their feelings at all. I think COVID created a situation where so many of us became victims of trauma on so many levels. I mean, I feel like trauma is not just I broke my nail, or, I was sexually violated. There's, so many other levels to trauma. I love how you put that. And tell me a little bit about your Reiki healing and your Reiki coaching.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Primarily, I love to teach. So I love to bring community together. I offer in person, now I just started, as well as virtual Reiki circles. And in theirs, we just gather together and send really good energy to one another. And with Reiki, Reiki is, I'm sure you've explained to your audience, but even if not, just for reiteration, Reiki means universal life energy. So, as a practitioner, I connect with spirit. I connect with the energies around, and they fill me up. And then I let my intuition guide me as to how I can best help the person that's in front of me, my client, and as well as in the classes that I teach. And the classes that I teach are all start coming from that awareness of trauma. Kind of like what you said, Monica. Trauma isn't the actual event, it's what happens to a person or how they actually respond to what happens. So if, let's say, I broke my nail, maybe the nail breaking isn't so traumatic to one person, but nail breaking for me could be telling me that my body is not doing okay. They're very frail, and that I'm probably low on some kind of hormone or something like that. So Reiki just helps us to reconnect to our bodies so that I can ask my body, what do you need? How can I help you? How can I be of service? And that's what I teach my clients. So my coaching clients, whether they're Reiki practitioners or just somebody who wants to be more spiritually connected, I help them to reconnect to their body, connect to those thoughts, and especially, and you mentioned it as well, connect to those emotions and recognize that emotions aren't as yucky as we think they are. They just sometimes are messy, and that's okay. But we don't, as long as we learn not to, and that's where coping mechanisms come in to help us not react from an emotional place, but from a logical place. So if you're in a state of emotion and you're just not able to really think things through, then that's not the time to take action.
Thank you for assuming that I have an audience. This is only you're my
Yes.
first guest, and the Align program is just now kicking off, and the purpose of these podcasts are in lieu of an email drip.
Okay.
And in the Align program, I share the 8 hand positions for self healing. So I love the ebook that you share on the themes and principles of Reiki, and I'd like to go into that a little bit more. But also, what are your recommendations for Reiki healing? Because in the program, I incorporate daily self-healing. That's how I learned Reiki. Before you can even touch anybody, you got to,
Yes.
work on yourself. And what would be some of your recommendations for someone who knows nothing about Reiki healing? About Reiki healing.
Yes. Well, I was just having a conversation about that with somebody who attended the Reiki circle that I had on Saturday. And what I always recommend to people is that every experience is going to be different. So every time you do a session is going to be different. And this could even be a self-healing session. So again, to be a Reiki practitioner, it's important that you go through the attunement process so that you feel the vibration and the energetic connection to other Reiki practitioners, present and not present. With self-healing, we actually do that a lot more than we give ourselves credit for, but we're not recognizing that we're doing that. So in regards to Reiki healing or even energy healing, the idea is stepping into ritual or stepping into a practice, a daily self-care practice where you connect to yourself, You can either be listening to a guided meditation, you could be journaling, you could be sitting in silence, you could be focused on your breath, you could be looking at a candle, you could be looking at the wall. I don't care, right? But you're just doing one thing and you're not distracted by your cell phone, you're not distracted by computer, whatever other distractions, even pets. If you can find a sacred space where just even 5 minutes a day, you connect to yourself, you connect to your body. Like one of my favorite positions is putting one hand on my heart and the other one on my abdomen. So just even doing that now, that's self-healing. And that is one of the ways that I recommend for Reiki healing as for self-care, is bringing it into a daily practice. And also, it helps with nervous system support. Nervous system support, especially for people who've experienced trauma or any intense emotion, is basically your body going into fight or flight. So the moment you recognize, oh, my body either wants to run towards the to the problem, or my body wants to run away from the problem. So hold on a second. I'm very emotional, and am I safe? Does it warrant that need? So for example, if somebody looks at me and starts yelling at me, my body's either going to want to go beat that person or yell at them or run away. So a self-regulation, and something that Reiki helps a lot, is putting your hand in that position, hand over heart, over abdomen, or somewhere on your body, and just saying, breathe. It's okay. I'm safe. These are some of the coping mechanisms that Reiki healing helps. And again, trusting that it's subtle. Though I just recently taught Reiki 1 to a private client, and she was just texting me today, and she's like, Paty, did I receive the attunement? I was distracted. I don't know if I was focused. I was like, yes, you received the attunement. And I gave her some examples of what she said after the attunement. And the attunement, like, she felt her hands hot, she felt calmer. Reiki is very subtle. We may not feel it right away with a big bang, but it's kind of like when you take a medicine like an aspirin or Tylenol, like you might feel that physical pain, and then eventually it starts to release and let go and let go and let go. And then you're just like, oh, my pain is dissipated. Well, Reiki is a technique that can help like that. Is that helpful, Monica?
All of this, yes, absolutely. All of the suggestions that you made are part of this program. So
Yeah.
it's just, it wasn't scripted, it's real. A little bit about your ebook. I'm certainly going to put a link in the show descriptions for anyone who wants to receive your free ebook. But just give me a quick overview.
Yeah, so in the ebook, I did a couple of things. So I'm very much like, I love to read information and then write notes. And then in this ebook, I give a description of what the Usui Reiki principles are. So my Reiki lineage is Usui Reiki. And one of the first things that Usui Reiki would teach his students is about the 5 principles to live by. Now, these are translated from Japanese. So how true to the word they are, I don't know. But he always starts with just for today. Sometimes I even say just for this moment. Let's go with the idea just for today. I am not angry. I don't worry. I am kind. I work hard, and I am grateful. And so,
Super
yeah,
attainable when you put it down into 24 hours. I could do this for just
yes.
24 hours.
Exactly, exactly. And so kind of goes over each of the principles, and then you get to write it in your own words. And then I wrap it all up together with the Reiki infused guided meditation.
Love it. Paty, thank you so much for all of this valuable information and your time and your energy, and for sharing it on the Aligned session.
Yes, well, thank you, Monica. Best to you and everybody who goes through your program. Super excited to be connected with you. And if you read the ebook, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope that they're helpful for you.
Absolutely was. Thanks, Paty. And there you have it. I love it. Paty said so many suggestions, and that's all part of the program. I promise it wasn't scripted. But here's your week 1. This week, our focus is on grounding, safety, and creativity. When we move, we're moving in our yoga poses that are in the program, and we're moving with the 8 self-healing Reiki hand positions. Of course, please download Paty's free ebook. I did. I love the aspect that she took of the Reiki. Also for this week, your breath focus is going to be on the reset the breath technique. Our journaling, our express is 2 questions. It's going to be 2 questions. What grounds me? And really a very, very difficult question. Take your time before you answer this. What brings me joy? And our do for this week, we're focusing on the I am. So reach out to me however I can help you. I'm looking forward to your progress and being included in your success stories. Thank you for joining this Align session. And if you're ready to dive deeper, the full Align program is waiting. 30 days of curated rituals, reflections, and energy tools for the real alignment that you've been craving. Head to the link in the show notes or visit my Instagram account, Liquid Zen Aqua Yoga. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and stay aligned.